Hello class and welcome to Friday's arithmetic lesson. You know what I'd like to do is start out with, do you remember all of your facts? Especially, let's go back to just some addition facts. Do you know them? Can you say them just like that? Can you pop up and say it just like that? 8 plus 7. Did you say 15? 7 plus 6, 13. 9 plus 9, 18. 25 plus 25, 50. There's a double there. Think of quarters on that one. 8 plus 6, 14. 7 plus 7, 14. 10 plus 10, 20. 15 plus 15, 30. There's another double. Try to learn all the doubles. 20 plus 20, 40. 30 plus 30. And you could keep going. You could go 40 plus 40, 50 plus 50, 60, okay? Those, raise your hand if you knew them as soon as I snapped my fingers. If you did, you know them. If you didn't know them and you had to think a little longer, you don't really know, you don't know all of them. And let's go back and sharpen up on all of our facts, okay? There's no counting up. There's no counting on fingers or anything like that. No. You cannot, no. You'll be in 5th grade very soon. So I wanted to review a little bit of that, and I'm gonna stand up here and we're gonna look at these charts, okay? So let's look here. Hopefully you can see them in the video, but let's look. Do you see how I put some Post-it notes right there, some sticky notes right there. And from smallest to largest, hopefully you can see that. This mm means what? Millimeter, centimeter, decimeter, meter, decameter, hectometer, kilometer, or kilometer. Okay, 2 ways of saying that one. From smallest to largest, milli, centi, deci, unit, deca, hecto, kilo. You should have that memorized unit very well. So then we have mg, that means milligram, centigram, decigram, gram, decagram, hectogram, kilogram, okay? And then we have the meters, liter, milliliter, centiliter, deciliter, liter, decaliter, hectoliter, kiloliter. Notice L for liter. These are the abbreviations that you should have memorized. I hope you can see those all right. Never quite sure how well it's showing up on the video, so let me know. We can zoom in on that in the next one. But know it from smallest, which is bigger, a hectometer or a meter. Hectometer, which is bigger, centimeter or decameter. Decameter, and have that in order. That's going to help you out immensely in 5th grade, because then you can figure out how many of this to that. And it's going to step up as far as the kinds of metric problems that they will ask you on your paper. So make sure you definitely have them in order and know the abbreviations for them. Again, whether it's meters, grams, or liters, meters, grams, liters, and what the abbreviations are for all of those. I would memorize those. If you need to make flashcards, do that. 1 meter equals 10 decimeters. Together, 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. 10 meters equals 1 decameter. 100 meters equals 1 hectometer, and 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer or kilometer. Excuse me. Here's something visual here. Can you see that? Look. A kilometer or kilometer is slightly longer than half a mile. Gives you a little context of how big it is. A decimeter. A decimeter is about as wide as your hand. It's about as wide across as your hand. A centimeter is about as big across as your little pinky finger. And a millimeter is very tiny. It's about the size of the tip of your pencil. So review your metric units, know them really well. Now let's review from yesterday. Ready? This is called the point. It's just like a decimal point. Line segment, where there's 2 points at the end of a line there. Line, just a regular line, has arrows at the end. That's what we call a line. Array has a point on one end with an arrow going out. The arrow indicating that it just keeps going and going and going indefinitely, or however long you want it to be. Intersecting lines. Again, it's a line, but there's 2 that intersect. They cross. Parallel lines. Parallel lines. They run side by side. Angle. Angle. 2 rays put together. That's a ray. So there's 2 of them joined together to make an angle. Right angle. It forms a square there at 90 degrees. That's what that square means. It's perfectly 90 degrees, meaning it's straight out and straight up. It's not in at all or out that way at all. It forms a perfect corner. Right angle. Congruent angles. There are 2 angles that have the same measurement. They're the same size. Okay? They're the same angle here. You know, like this angle is different than that angle. So those aren't congruent, are they? They're different. But those are the same. They're congruent angles. Perpendicular lines. Now I know yesterday I said I wasn't going all the way through. So maybe I need to correct myself there. When I said that, what I was meaning was, I mean, yes, they're intersecting. So I guess they are intersecting, but they're forming 90-degree angles here. So they are perpendicular. It might not go all the way through though. It could just go from there all the way up like the picture was yesterday. So just not to confuse you from what I said yesterday, they're forming a 90-degree angle. They're perpendicular. Whereas intersecting could be any angle. They intersect at all, they're intersecting. So if you saw this picture, you'd say perpendicular. This one, you'd say intersecting. Simple closed shape. A simple closed shape we're going to talk about today on your paper, okay? And we're going to talk about what a polygon is on your paper. So we'll go over that in just a minute, what those ones are. You're also going to learn today the basic shapes. A circle, a closed curve with no point of intersection. And they're all curved lines. There aren't straight edges. And they do not intersect. A parallelogram. Everyone say that with me. Parallelogram. 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 Notice how it's spelled. L-L-E-L. Parallel. And then O-gram. Parallelogram. Parallelogram. Parallel opposite sides. That means you see this? These are lines running parallel with each other, and these are parallel with each other. Remember the parallel lines? These lines are parallel, and these lines are parallel. So we call it a parallelogram. A square. We know what a square is, right? They're perfectly straight right angles in each corner. That's what makes it a perfect square. A rectangle with 4 equal sides. It's just like a rectangle, but all the sides are equal to make a square. Whereas a rectangle, 2 sides are longer than the other sides. Now you can have all kinds of different size rectangles, okay? As long as these 2 are 1 length and these two are another length. If they're all equal, they're a square. Rhombus. Rhombus. A parallelogram with 4 equal sides is called a rhombus. It's just like a parallelogram, but all the sides are the same length. It looks like a diamond. I kind of went like that. Kind of looks like a diamond, doesn't it? A rhombus. So again, a rhombus is a parallelogram with equal sides. All the sides are equal. And that's what, see these two little dashes running through the sides? That's telling us those sides are all equal. Same with the square. Those sides are all equal, okay? Triangle, you know what a triangle is? It's a 3-sided polygon. And again, a polygon, we're going to talk about what a polygon is in your book, okay? A polygon. Basically, it's made up of line segments, and it's closing in a figure, all right? It's a simple closed figure. Trapezoid, only 2 parallel sides. Look at this trapezoid. 2 sides are parallel, right? But they're not necessarily equal, but they are parallel. These two, they're not exactly parallel because that's going a little more that way. It's not, these are still parallel, but those two aren't. A trapezoid, it's like a piece of our rectangle was taken out, huh? Interesting. None of these are exactly the same, are they? That one. So notice that shape. That's called a trapezoid. Don't confuse that with parallelogram because these are parallel and these are parallel. But these, that might be parallel but not the same length. Those are not parallel. So all the sides are parallel, or at least 2 of them. There's 2 pairs of parallel lines, I should say. But trapezoid does not have that. So memorize that too. Now I'm going to avoid some confusion, I'm going to go to the book now. And what we're going to do is meet back in just a second. I want to open my book to show you something that will be on your paper, all right? So what I'd like to do is take a look in your book. All right, here's the book. And this is the page you're going to do today. And I want you to notice something. Look, a simple closed curve. I thought it'd be easier just to look in your book for this part. It does not have a point. A simple closed curve does not have a point of intersection. Anything that is a simple closed curve does not have a point of intersection. So pretty much any shape that doesn't intersect can be called a simple closed curve. So all of these are simple closed curves. So are these. So are these. So are these. All of these can be considered simple closed curve. Next one, a polygon is a simple closed curve made up of line segments. See this? A polygon has line segments, okay? So any other shapes, they're made of line segments. This line and that line and that line and that line and that line all make up that shape. Whatever shape it is, they're all polygons. The only one that is not a polygon is a circle because it does not have line segments. It's just one curve, see? A triangle. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. And there's different kinds of triangles that you'll learn about later. But they're all triangles. They can have different angles, but they're still triangles if there's 3 sides. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. So a rhombus is a quadrilateral. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral. A square is a quadrilateral. A rectangle is a quadrilateral. And a parallelogram is a quadrilateral. Can you say, look at the word, quadrilateral. Quadrilateral, that'd make a good spelling word, wouldn't it? So would parallelogram. So think of the word quad. Quad, we get our word four. Think of four, okay? Quadrilateral, that's a quadrilateral. A parallelogram has opposite parallel sides. Those are parallel and those are parallel. They might be different lengths. Rhombus, where are we? Here we are. Rhombus is also a parallelogram, but it has four equal sides, like we said on our chart. They're a quadrilateral. All of them, if there's four sides, are a quadrilateral. So on your paper today, I don't want you to get confused. You're going to look at the shapes, and it's going to say all the names for that shape. And you might have four lines there. If there's four lines, there's four names for that one shape. There's three lines, there's three names for that one shape. So for example, a rhombus is quadrilateral, but is a rhombus a polygon? Yes. If it's made of a line segment, it's also a polygon. Is it a simple closed curve? Yes. It doesn't have a point of intersection. So we could say a rhombus is a quadrilateral. A rhombus is a polygon because it's a simple closed curve made of line segments. And we could say that it's a simple closed curve because it does not intersect. You see that? So these are more generic terms, broad terms. These are more specific terms of the exact shape or figure that we're speaking of. I hope that makes sense to you as you do the first section. You're actually do that, and it'll spill over to the next page. And the rest of the paper is really a review of things you should already know. Don't forget how to do your measurements, your equations, solving for unknowns, those kind of things, division. And if you have a problem, you're not sure about something, please let me know, and I'll include it in the next video. And parents, that's for you as well, the students. Please let me know, and I'll do an example of one that you're not sure about. Know your facts, do your paper. Again, this is for lesson 149. You take care. You do a super job, and I hope you're doing wonderfully well. So until next time, I want you to take care, do your paper, do your best. And whatsoever you do it heartily as to the Lord. Know your shapes like we see back here. And I hope you have a super weekend too after you do your work, and can enjoy that too. Enjoy whatever beautiful weather there may be outside as well. And I'll see you later. Ta-ta.